Revisionist. Trump now denies ever hiring Sidney Powell as his attorney. The inevitable happened Sunday morning when Donald Trump took to Truth Social to make the claim that Sidney Powell was never his attorney in a post that may or may not violate gag orders that are piling up like Busch Lite cans outside a frat. Given that Sidney Powell will almost surely be a witness in Judge Chutkan's Washington, D.C. election interference case, Trump has to toe the line quite carefully. Of course, a smart person would not even mention her name lest it be seen as an attempt to influence her testimony. Just about anything can be misconstrued. So, if Trump is going to influence her testimony, it's probably best to just establish what he needs her to say by saying it himself and then meander into gibberish and hope no one notices. From Trump's Truth Social account. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than. Sidney Powell was one of millions and millions of people who thought, and in ever-increasing numbers still think, correctly, that the 2020 presidential election was rigged and stolen, and our country is being absolutely destroyed because of it. Despite the fake news reports to the contrary, and without even reaching out to ask the Trump campaign, Ms. Powell was not my attorney, and never was. In fact, she would have been conflicted. Ms. Powell did a valiant job of representing a very unfairly treated and governmentally abused General Mike Flynn, but to no avail. His prosecution, despite the facts, was ruthless. He was an innocent man, much like many other innocent people who are being persecuted by this now fascist government of ours, and I was honored to give him a full pardon. I never knew her. Sidney Powell? Who is that? Never seen her. Oh, snap, the internet, indeed. Trump damn near named her a special counsel, whose job it would be to keep him in office by declaring martial law using the Insurrection Act and ordering the military to round up voting machines in Michigan and Georgia. Powell and Flynn were at the infamous December 18, 2020 meeting that was broken up in a near fist fight when Mark Meadows and White House counsel Pat Cipollone saved the republic by not following Powell and Flynn's dangerous advice. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than. Trump may well be attempting to alter Powell's testimony with his proclamation. He better hope that there isn't a check out there for attorney's fees to Sidney Powell. She does know about the money funding their crime spree. In our exclusive report, we noted that Powell had to deliver more than just Trump to get the plea agreement. She had to draw a straight line to the money behind the effort. As we reported on Thursday when Powell pleaded guilty, speaking exclusively to Washington Press, Ryan said that he met with Sidney Powell's attorney, Brian Rafferty, back in September. Editors reviewed his text message history with the lawyer before the publication of this story. Rafferty had reached out to Ryan specifically seeking information about vanished Rudy Giuliani aide Catherine Freiss, who is another attorney involved with Powell and, ultimately, Trump. As well, he says Powell's lawyers wanted information about General Michael Flynn, information he could hand over to prosecutors for a plea deal. So Powell had to deliver much more than just an inside view of the White House. Apparently, Fani Willis believes she has that covered. But again, we will have to wait to see if Jack Smith files a motion to find the indicted former president in contempt of court for violating Judge Chutkan's order regarding the intimidation of and communication with witnesses. Trump's attempt to influence Powell's testimony, by informing her that, despite his public tweets and her crazed ideas, she was never his or his campaign's attorney, clearly fits within the parameters of the gag order. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than. It does seem like a violation of Judge Chutkan's gag order respecting witnesses. Trump is trying to telegraph what he wants her to testify to, that she wasn't representing him. He may be right, but now she knows his position, and that could be a problem with Judge Chutkan. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than. I think we know the answer to the question below, and that's why Trump is panicking. The ball is firmly in Jack Smith's court to determine if he wants to file for contempt of court and sanctions. I can be reached at jasonmichiak@gmail.com and on X at jasonmichiak. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than. Editor's note. This is an opinion column that solely reflects the opinions of the author Jason Michiak. Jason Michiak is an associate editor and opinion writer for Occupy Democrats. He's a Canadian-American who grew up in the Pacific Northwest. He is a trained attorney, but for the last 5 years, he's devoted his time to writing political news and analysis. He enjoys life on the Gulf Coast as a single dad to a 15-year-old daughter. Hobbies include flower pots, cooking, and doing what his daughter tells him they're doing. Sign up to get all of my posts by email right here. Latest posts.